Hello everyone, welcome to Fine in the Middle. This will be episode, I think 8 or 9, but I'll work that out in post. I'm here with the lovely Nihara Jayatissa. Please say hi to...
Hi everyone. Hello, hello.
Thank you so much for being here. This is her humble abode, actually. We are here at suburb. Is it safe to say the suburb? Probably not, hey?
Maybe not.
Right, okay, yeah.
Moving
Well,
on.
thank you for having me here and thank you for doing this podcast with me. You are officially my first female guest. Anyone that doesn't know about you, can you give me maybe like a minute about what you're about, what you're passionate about, and what you're doing with yourself at the moment?
Okay, awesome. My elevator pitch. So my name's Nihara. I am an artist. I also have a podcast. And I also have a 9 to 5. So, yeah, a little bit about me. I am very passionate about mental health. So I studied psychology as well. So that's sort of underpins a lot of the things that I am interested in and like to talk about. I just want to have a good time, and that's pretty much it.
Thank you so much for being here. And I like that you introduced yourself as an artist first, because it's really something that you value a lot. And I love to talk about your gallery that you hosted
Yeah.
with your friends as well, which was just so awesome. But it's really cool that you're here. And yeah, you're very passionate about mental health, and a big reason why I've got you involved as well. And we've always wanted to do this. I think we've been speaking about this for a very long time. But yeah, you've listened to a few of the Balance Blog podcasts, which is awesome. And today, I think I'd really like to get, because you're my first female guest, you'll have some really great female insights. And I hate saying like, oh, female.
I'm speaking on behalf of all women.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. At the moment you are, like from a whole podcast, like, how does the female anatomy work? Because I do know. But today I wanted to speak to you about, and I know that we talked about this off the podcast. Family and culture was a big one, and sort of how you're navigating that and how I'm navigating family and culture. Creativity. I love that you introduce yourself as an artist first up, because I'm trying to do that with. I introduce myself to people as an actor.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, and I used to be DJ. It used to be like, oh, heaps of stuff, but now it's like
This is
actor.
me.
Yeah, I really want. That's a goal of mine.
Well, if I was describing you to someone else, I would start with that too.
I appreciate that.
So yeah, that's the way I would think about it. Yeah.
Because sometimes it's something I'd like to talk to you about later. There's that imposter syndrome of not feeling like an actor too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Which is frustrating. And then, I suppose you don't have to speak for all women, but yeah, female perspective, empathy and emotions, I think, emotional awareness and sensitivity. And maybe if there's a possibility to tap more into empathy and how maybe guys can do that. That's what I'd like to explore, but yeah, how you've done that personally.
Well, it's interesting. Well, I thought it was interesting that you put family and culture together as one thing, because like obviously there is a lot of overlap, but they can also be like very distinct things at the same time. Because I guess that is how you define what your family is, if you know what I mean. Like,
so it is distinct from culture.
I think it depends. I think it's distinct based on how you define what family is. So, like, if family to you is literally like blood, then if your parents have some sort of culture, you may or may not choose to engage in that as you grow up. But at the same time, if the people closest to you aren't necessarily blood related, then maybe your culture is a reflection of their culture in some way. Maybe.
Yeah, you've endorsed the culture of your friends,
Yeah.
because you appreciate that more, because maybe you didn't have family.
Yeah.
I resonate with that a lot. Like because I'm not close with my family. I never had any cultural traditions growing up. There was no like, the closest thing that we had was, and this is, I don't know, this is probably highly inappropriate, but like a takeaway on a Friday night and a movie. That was culture. That was like,
Well, even you saying that, like, we didn't really do that regularly growing up, and that's like sort of something you crave, right? Like your friends like, oh, I go and do fish and chip Fridays, and I'm like, oh, that sounds awesome. Like, we don't do that.
interesting.
Yeah.
So you like, what would you do as a family when you were growing up?
Oh, honestly, like, we didn't really do much. Like, I think we had a bit of an interesting like upbringing upbringing in that sense, but I think as we got older we were able to kind of make traditions for ourselves and like do it that way. But when we were younger, you're very reliant on your parents, so if they're having you know, some sort of like turbulence in their own life, then as a kid you're kind of just swept up into that.
I mentioned earlier, like off the podcast, that you feel like you're in one culture and then feel like you're in another culture. Do you feel like those experiences when you were little and growing up maybe have not caused, but like been a proponent of that divide, and feel like maybe you want to appreciate another space because you didn't feel like you were getting that?
I think it's interesting, like, for example, you grow up here and, you know, I go to primary school and I'm like one of 2 brown people in my entire like year level. So you have that experience, but then you also have an experience, for example, when I went to Sri Lanka, like I'm brown, but I'm not the same as the people there. And so that really made me like, I really was like, who am I?
Wow.
Yeah. So you're kind of like I couldn't really speak much of the language. I can understand, but I also don't have confidence speaking in the language too. So it's sort of this weird thing where you kind of like don't really fit in anywhere at the same time. So like, yes, I look like this and you think, oh, okay, she's Sri Lankan or whatever. But then when you go to Sri Lanka, you're like, oh, like I still look different to the people that are there, but also like I have an accent. Like I don't know all of the traditions. I'm kind of just still watching, like I'm kind of witnessing my culture at the same time.
Yeah, like feel like an outsider when you're there.
Yeah.
Fascinating. And how did you navigate that? That would have probably, like, was that disheartening when you arrived there and you're like, wow, my cousins, you can't fully connect with them almost?
Yeah, I think yes, to some extent. What was interesting with like my family over there, my extended family, is like I don't really talk to them day to day, like the same way I'd talk to my friends, for example, but I still feel like a really strong connection to them. So it's really, I know it's really kind of bizarre. And like even my brother would tell you the same thing, but like I feel very, very connected to them. Like, cause I know that they would always like, you know, want the best for me and I want the best for them sort of thing. But at the same time, like I don't really know much about them, like, which is very weird to say. Like I found out the last time I was in Sri Lanka earlier this year, like one of my aunties is an art teacher. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I love art.
Yeah.
But I just didn't know that.
Yeah. And you didn't get that.
And it's also partly, you know, I don't know how to speak to ask the questions that I want to ask. That's one part of it. But it's also like, yeah, it just doesn't come up. So, you know, I grew up here. I go there for 2 weeks. I'm not going to learn everything about everyone in that 2 weeks. It's sort of a weird, yeah, I feel like you feel a bit like you're floating in between 2 places, but you don't really sit anywhere at the same time.
Fascinating. But I wanted to touch on that feeling of like still feeling strongly connected to them, and that distance, but that like strong connection, because I'm fascinated by that because I don't have that. Yeah. There's I like when I'm with my extended family, because I'm in a kind of a similar boat where I haven't spent a lot of time with them just because of like, you know, personal family things and the turbulence. Like, didn't spend a lot of time with the extended family, but when I'm there, it's extremely disconnected.
Are they here or are they somewhere else?
They're all here, extremely disconnected. But I don't have pull or that deeper understanding you were saying before.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. I almost wonder if that's like, obviously I don't know, you know, your experience of this, but maybe it's because they are so close, you kind of know more information that might make you not want, you know what I mean? Sustain that or look into it. Like for me, I don't know what I don't know, but I'm okay with that. Like I'm like, oh, everyone's like so amazing. Yeah. No, literally ignorance is bliss. Like there's some things you hear and you're just like, I did not need to hear that. So obviously, you know, in every family there's always something else. There's always something, you know, life is just chaotic. Like you can't control things, just happen. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's just like how you kind of come together and what you decide to do with whatever information you get. But yeah, I think for me, I always, like when I was younger, I'd go to Sri Lanka and all the aunties would be so excited to see me because I'm like this little small, like chubby child, and they were like squeezing my cheeks. And then I would take that memory away, have that memory for like 4 years, 5 years, then come back to Sri Lanka. And then that's like my only memory in a way. And then, yeah, I think it's really interesting, like that for me, like that feeling where you just feel so like welcome and so connected in that moment that you are there, even if it's for a short amount of time. Like I just really hung on to that, to be honest. Like that's kind of it.
Yeah. And do you feel like you've been able to take that back home here, or do you find it's hard to be away from that, or do you find it strange, like you can just sort of go to Sri Lanka and just feel like it's almost home, but then know nothing about them?
Last time I went, it was 9 years since I had been there. So all of my aunties, like I remember them as really, really youthful and like really chatty and funny. And then I go back and then they're a lot older. They have like a lot of health problems and things like that. And it's just very jarring because your last memory is like them when they're like a lot, they're younger. They're not grandparents or anything. They're just aunties, and then you go back and you're like, oh shit, it's almost like your eyes just like open and you're just like, whoa, like what happened? Yeah. While I was.
That's like a half lifetime for some people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But because 9 years ago, how old are you now? Do you mind me asking?
I'm 27 now.
27. So yeah, you would have been 7. What?
I can't math.
What?
What is that? What is the math on that?
Okay, I'll take it.
What's 9 back to? What's 29 minus?
I'm 27.
What's 27 minus 9? 18.
That's crazy. Is it? Yeah. No.
Yes.
27 minus 9.
Yeah, 18. You're the smartest one here today.
I couldn't do that. I was waiting for you to do the maths.
No,
I wasn't
really?
getting there on my
18,
own. No.
18. My brain was not computing. 18.
Yeah.
18. So you were 18. You just like, yeah, you're a young professional woman when you've come back. At 27, yeah, you've got like
Yeah, it's like I'm a whole other person. Every time I've been there, I've been a different person.
Is there a level of grief or longing for that culture and that environment, and like, maybe missing out on being there full time and growing up in Sri Lanka?
Yeah, I think so. I think now that I'm here, I'm just like, oh, I wish I knew how to do this, or I wish I knew how to read and write. Like that's a big one. I'm like, I wish I could just like write a letter and be like, here you go, read this and send it back to them. But like that's just not the reality. So yeah, I think it's sort of like you're kind of grieving something you never knew, if that makes sense. Yeah. So I think I do struggle with that sometimes, and I kind of, even when I say like, oh, I'm an artist or whatever, a lot of my art is based on things from my culture, like Sri Lankan. When I went to Sri Lanka, I took a bunch of photos and I was like, oh, this is like so amazing and inspiring, and I wanted to paint it. And then I painted it, and then like, yeah, it was interesting. It was sort of like okay, this is my thing, but it's also not at the same time.
Interesting. Is it cathartic when it comes out in your art? So like, do a lot of your pieces play on that interplay between being here and having a tie to Sri Lankan culture?
I think so. And I think what was really interesting about my art, so I was just doing it because I felt some sort of urge to do it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to paint the front of my grandma's house. So I painted like a picture of like everyone's shoes, kind of, you take your shoes off before you go inside. So it's just a picture of shoes at the doorstep. So I painted that, and
all for sale, by the way.
That one sold, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. And so, these sorts of like kind of, I guess, niche things that I was like, okay, this is interesting. I want to paint it. I want to remember it through my painting. And then when we had the gallery, so we had a gallery about a month ago, I had like a cluster of artworks. So it was about 4 pieces on the wall, and they're all based on Sri Lanka and different things I'd seen in Sri Lanka, including that shoe painting. And a lot of the people that came, some people just walked past it, and I was like, you know what? Okay, that art's just not for them. Like, that's fine. But then there was like
racist.
Yeah. You said it. But
not
then,
for me, Tabitha.
But then there was people that that kind of stood there and just looked at it and was like, oh, like the tiles that you've painted on the floor here, like that looks like my grandma's house. So there was people that resonated with it. Sri Lankan people, also other nationalities, like I guess non-white. Can I say that? Yeah. As well. But then at the same time, there was also like all sorts of people resonated in different ways with the artwork. But it was just interesting. It just made me feel like, oh, okay, like I'm doing the right thing. Because you could see, you know, I connected with it, but then other people were also connecting with the artwork. And I was like, if I hadn't done that, then they wouldn't have that as well.
Yeah, because you're coming through in your art.
Yeah, but for me, like I was, you know, like I was saying, like I didn't know what I could do with that, because I was like, what am I?
Yeah. That what am I is also beautiful, like in the paintings, and if you know you can convey that, which you probably have, people are like, yeah, they see the questioning, or they see the, like, maybe there's pieces where you're dealing with the dissonance, but the dissonance is fantastic.
Kind of interesting, like sort of seeing what people connected with. And there was also, for example, even that painting I was talking, that one sold, but it didn't sell to like someone that was Sri Lankan. Yeah. So yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. Is
this? I hope this isn't too trivial, but like might be a bit too trivial. Yeah, you know, like Nando's. hold on, hear me out. And you get a sense that like the artwork is obviously, I don't know, it could be from IKEA, like the framing and stuff, like, but it's snapshots of Portugal. It is Nando's is Portuguese, isn't it? Portuguese chicken. Yeah. And you see snapshots of Portugal and the culture and the moments, and I personally love that because I can be transported into a place, and the music and the yes, it is a takeaway restaurant. I get that. And maybe there's paintings that aren't even Portuguese, but the essence is the same. So someone like myself can look at one of your paintings and be transported into a completely different space. Can be transported even into the emotional, the dissonance of it too. And then I connect with it maybe in a way where I'm like, wow, I'm stuck between two things at the moment. I've got two identities and I don't know where to land, but this artist really gets me.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah, which is cool. So keep doing it. And it's really cathartic too. That's what I want to do with my art, is like putting myself in.
So when you say your art, you mean acting?
Yeah, that, and like content, anything that has performing storytelling, because I feel like wherever you can put your own flavor into it, that's where the magic is.
That's sort of what I was wondering as well. Like, so let's say with acting, you're given a script. You're kind of told, okay, I want you to sort of invoke this emotion. How much of that do you feel like is your creativity versus, you know, the director or whoever's like kind of guiding you?
Thank you. I love that question. It depends on the project and the intensity of it, and how, like, unfortunately, how much money is involved. So if it's like a high level project for, say, like an ad and like a bigger brand like an Uber Eats or even a Red Rooster, there's a certain shot list and things that you have to touch on, touch points and criteria that you need to make. So I did an Uber Eats ad a little while ago that was 6 takes, which is incredibly short. 40 minutes of time, and I went there. I had a little soft serve ice cream, and I handed it to someone at the door 6 times. That was it. And I couldn't be like, "Here's your ice cream, sir," and like really embody handing the ice cream. My role was just to be hand the fucking ice cream, and do the exact same thing each time. Whereas on a student film, where there's a bit more room for play and everyone's creative and collaborating and everyone sort of feels on the same level, you can get way more exploratory, and then you can say like, I felt really good doing this. Like I'd really like to do this action with. I did a short film where I was in a seat, and my scene partner got out of his chair and was going to attack me, but held himself back. It's all I can't do. But I didn't feel like I wanted to move. And my action was to flick out of my chair and move back. But for the context of the short film and how it finished up, sitting in my chair was the right choice.
Interesting.
From a creative perspective. But it's how I felt at the moment. And it was a choice that I chose differently. Because I wanted to, and that's how I felt in the moment.
I love that.
Yeah. So to answer your question, it is dependent on how serious the project is, what your involvement is, what your level is, and how much freedom you have to personally have a play around with it. Because there is a bit of play, but some spaces don't allow any play at all.
Based off what you just said as well, so you're saying, you know, you chose to stay seated or stay still in that moment. I guess for me, when I'm creating, for me, I'm just sort of painting. But at the same time, like my partner also is an artist, and my brother also draws, and his girlfriend is also an artist. So
Shout out Bailey Seneth and
Ellie, absolutely. They're all amazing. And I think because I'm surrounded by so many people, even though we're not, you know, they're not painting my painting for me, I feel very inspired, and I feel like I can collaborate with them and ask them, you know, what do you think I should do with this? Or what do you think about this? And 9 times out of 10, I won't really listen to what they say, but I'm still going to ask. Because sometimes you're looking for like validation of your own thought more than what you're looking for, you know, someone else's input. But I guess in terms of acting, like, and like you were saying, when you have like a student film, there's so many creative people around you. Yeah, I just think it's really interesting. Like everyone kind of contributes their input, and is that how it works? Like, you know, you decided you wanted to stay still, but did someone else was also wrote for you to like get up and do stuff?
Yeah, so like that's, and just quickly, do you all like create art together? When you're creating art together, do you like watch each other's like strokes and no that like no creepy way, like normal way. Unless it's the creepy way, like, you know, don't nucky yuck anyone's yum. I heard that recently.
Oh my god. Not really, but at the same time, like I grew up watching my brother drawing, and I was always like, oh, I wish I could do something creative.
He's a freak.
That's his drawings in the back. I'm not sure if they're in the frame,
well,
but
we can do like a clip.
Yeah,
we'll do like a clip.
We'll insert some images of drawings here in the middle of the screen.
Yeah. Oh, that's so
Here you go, guys.
Yeah,
In some ways, you kind of learn just by seeing other people do their own thing. Like I paint with something called gouache, so I don't really know anyone in my circle that paints with that type of paint. But at the same time, like my boyfriend, he's like amazing painter, and some of his techniques, I'm like, oh, I wonder if I could apply that, and so I'll try it.
So interesting.
Yeah.
That's because I in the acting space, I do a similar thing, or like stand-up comedy. I'll see someone's style that I really like. There's this guy, his name's Matthew Brassard. I can't think I say his name properly. His style and his flow is so charismatic, and it's like storytelling of him and his girlfriend, and how his girlfriend's like an athlete, and she's got broad shoulders and taller than him, and it's really funny but very cheeky, and it's not like your dry, straight up humor. And I'd like take his flow and put it into my own stuff. And yeah, like as you were saying before with the creative direction, the director, Sabrina, for this short film that I was talking about earlier, she wrote that direction to sit in the chair. But then when she realised I felt like I wanted to sit in the chair, she's like, do it. To tie it back into what you said earlier as your opener, you had artist, and then what was the second one? Artist. Podcaster. And then you're like 9 to 5. Yeah. Do you remember doing that? Yeah.
You just made that up.
Yeah. And I'd like, do you feel that you appreciate being an artist so much because the 9 to 5 is so structured and there's no room for play?
Yeah, I think so. To be honest, I didn't really call myself an artist till like last week.
I love that.
Yeah, so like
Why the
after
shift?
actually, so when we had the gallery, I had some issues with my back, so I went and saw an osteo, and so I realized like, so I was just, he'd be like, you know, what did you do on the weekend? I'm like, oh, I had this gallery, blah blah blah, and then each week I'd see him, you know, like to see stuff on my back, and then literally like last week I saw him, and then he was like, oh yeah, is it busy this time of year for you? And I was like, oh, you know, a little bit, like wrapping up the year and stuff, and you know, I work in this like payroll team, and he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, I work in a payroll team. And he's like, I thought you were an artist. And I was like, you know what? Like, that's kind of true. Like, I am. But I think it's so easy to label yourself as something else. Like, I think it's something that people might, you know, I work a 9 to 5. I spend most of my time at my 9 to 5, but that doesn't define me. And I think just him sort of saying that just like did something in my brain. And I was like,
It like confirmed for you like what you'd originally share with him and wanted him to, you know.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even like, it wasn't like I intentionally left out what I did for work. I hadn't done anything. It was a weekend. So I was just talking about what I did. Yeah. And we did the gallery. And, after the gallery, I think it was like a real like stepping stone in terms of I want to do this like with my life sort of thing. Whereas before I was like, can I call myself an artist? Like there's so many people around me that I perceive to be so much better than me and so much more experienced. And I think that was where I was like, what am I again?
Yeah. It comes back to what am I and where do you fit in that space? Like, and not feeling like an artist and imposter syndrome. How have you navigated those feelings? Because I resonate with that so much. In short, because I want to get to your perspective, is I get frustrated with that feeling of what am I? Because I introduced myself as an actor, but I haven't got a professional credit. I'm not on Stan. I'm not on Netflix. But that's where I want to be. And I compare myself to Australians here that are absolutely killing it. Some guys that I've met, girls that I've met that are like, flying overseas. And you're like, I want to be there, but I know that's not healthy. But how have you navigated that feeling of like maybe, just the surprise that your doctor was like, oh, I thought you were an artist, and you're like, oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's something you kind of constantly have to battle in your own mind. Like, I think, like you were saying, you're not on Netflix. Like, anyway, everyone's boycotting Netflix, so it's fine. Like, don't worry about it. Like, I think it's also like you're actively doing the things that you need to be doing in this moment to get to whatever your goal is. Your goal is, okay, I want to be in I want to have my name in the credits for like a movie that's, on Netflix or on Stan or something. That's your personal goal. Like, I don't know that. So if you hadn't told me that, I'm not going to say you're not an actor because you didn't do this one thing. So yeah, it's interesting. Like I said, I introduce you. When I think of you, I think, okay, you're an actor. I literally tell people like, oh, you were on what were you on, Neighbours? Yeah. I was literally telling Egyptian Goddess that. Oh my god. But yeah, like that's like, I see you as that, and I think like I wouldn't even doubt that. Actually, like, that's your goal if you want to do that and take it to that, level or whatever. But that doesn't take away from what you've done to this point. Yeah.
And I'd say the same thing about you as an artist too. It's like you've hosted a gallery, you've sold paintings.
But the gallery wasn't even in a real gallery, so you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's also that, like,
is that where your head goes, where you're like, oh no, it wasn't a real gallery, so you compare yourself to an artist who maybe held in a gallery space?
Yeah, but I try to think of it differently now when I look back, and I think, oh, like, this is the perfect place to start, like right where, like, in my home, like this is where I create most of my work. Yeah. This is an awesome place to have a first sort of taste of like what it's like to work towards a deadline, to collaborate with like all different styles of artists and kind of see what you can make it look like. And you're kind of creating like an experience at the same time having a gallery. It's not so much here's the paintings on the wall. It's like, okay, how should I put the different paintings? Like, what sort of position should I put them in?
Did you like have it like where you were kind of where'd the boob painting get? There was a massive boob painting.
Yeah, well, we actually did sort of start with a theme, because originally me and Bailey were like, let's call it, we called it Red Thread, which is based off like the invisible string theory. Because, we wanted to tie into like, culture, nostalgia, people, places. And then, my brother and Ellie were too good, so we're like, we have to include them. We were like, it would be too wrong if we didn't. So, and
you guys were all incredible. It was just, I sadly missed it, but I saw all the shots afterwards, and I'll definitely be making the next one before I go. For context, for those watching, the four of them set up, I'm not going to say the suburb, but their house to be a gallery. This was their first ever event, wasn't it? It was the first ever time you'd released any of your art. And you sold pretty much like 80 to 90% of your pieces.
Pretty much, yeah.
And a whole heap of prints. Heaps of people came through. Like, you had a full house for multiple days across the weekend. Yeah. And the big thing is they're planning to do another one next year at some stage. and they're looking for a gallery space. They've also got possibility of including other people, maybe potentially other pieces of art. So anyone looking to showcase their art and get it sold, which it most certainly would be, that's a good opportunity to get involved. So I think I'll plug that a bit later for your details, but I just wanted to say that's pretty fucking awesome.
Thank you. We're thinking of doing it around June, so hopefully before you leave.
June. Oh yeah. Oh cool. Actually, we could talk about that off because we could make it a bit of a thing. Yeah, I've got an idea for that. But reflecting on that experience, do you feel that cemented in your mind like how you feel as a creator? Like it just gave you a bit more boost to be like, yeah, this is me. Yeah, like 9 to 5 fuels it.
Yeah, I think the 9 to 5 makes me feel comfortable taking my time creating because I've got an income from my 9. It solidified it for me because I had artwork that I, had like under my bed for like 2 years. Wow. And I was like, oh, it's actually kind of cool. Like maybe I should just put it up and see what happens. And then like people were like, oh, I saw this on Instagram like 2 years ago. And I was like, yeah, it's the same one. And then they wanted to buy it. And it's just like amazing. Like, yeah, it was literally like a tiny little circle painting. And it's just amazing what people remember and like what you think, I put on my story. I don't even know where I put it, but yeah, it's on my Instagram somewhere. And yeah, I just didn't do anything with it. And then I was like, oh, I should just put it up because it's, Sri Lanka themed and it fit like the sort of cluster that I was creating. Yeah, and that sort of, that whole interaction just did something in my brain and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that's incredible. But the fact that they see so much value in it, and that was something you did 2 years ago before you probably even thought of calling yourself an artist.
Yeah, exactly.
Which shows, how much value you can provide through your art, and that you probably could have been calling yourself an artist a lot earlier. The reason I was freaking out when you said that, because like there's content that I've got online, and I'm thinking like, if someone remembered a story from 2 years ago, I'm fucked. I'm so fucked. Oh my God. I feel, yeah, you've seen, yeah. I feel like I'm a good person, but oh my goodness, some of the stuff that yeah. Anyway, it's okay. Clip that shit.
Like Bailey, he loves doing like short films and things like that. Like, if you wanted to be,
100%.
that'd be great.
Anytime, anywhere. Yep, I'm there. You need me to eat something gross, like.
I need you to actually give me a soft serve cone at the front door. 7 times. Yeah. But yeah, like I feel like it's really cool collaborating with people who do different sort of things. I know a lot of people who are very creative who don't like kind of step into that just because they think like I'm not good enough. And I feel like I've just like tiptoed over that line now, like at this age.
Yeah, spring chicken.
You think that? I mean, I think we think that because we're this, like, we're older, but like there's people that are like 20 on like Forbes 30 under 30, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it's so hard. It's so frustrating because it's the comparison thing, isn't it? Comparison is the thief of joy, and I find that frustrating. I've been doing a lot of the reverse, so I've been like, I look up actors and where they were. Like I found out Rami Malek recently. His big break was when he was 37.
Oh, amazing.
Bryan Cranston didn't get his biggest break until he was like late 40s. And I keep trying to find these examples of like, I've still got time. I've still got time. Yeah. I mean, you've still got time to chop off your ear and get, Van Gogh. Yeah, you don't have to go. Please don't go crazy. Oh my goodness. Actually, no, you won't go crazy. You got too much mental health knowledge. Yeah, too much. Your mental health. Mental health bar is full. Yeah, much mental health. Yes. How do you feel about the finance aspect of creative outlets and balancing that?
I really struggled to even price my artwork for the gallery. Like the fact that there was multiple things I had to put a number on, I was like, I think because you know how much time you spent doing something, but it's like, is that what you mean?
That, yeah, both. So pricing your art and how you valued that and valued your time, energy, but then also like being an artist requires like, it's not like you can climb the corporate ladder of artistry.
No, but I think that's what makes it seem so achievable at the same time.
Interesting. Because
Yeah.
that's where I get worried that it's not achievable to live and sustain yourself. That's one of my biggest fears.
I think that you'd have to just get creative with how you go about having a sustainable but at the same time, there's so many artists that I used to follow on Instagram in like, you know, all over the world, and I followed them when they had like 10k followers, and now they're like at 100k followers. And it's just, I think it's just the fact that they just kept going, whereas, you know, like I would just like not post. I haven't posted on my Instagram in so long. It's so hard. I think that's the hardest thing, actually, like just being consistent. And I think also something I learned in corporate, it's also like one of the things that we had like career coaches back then, and they'd say to me like, legit, they'd say to me like, what's the point of doing something if no one's going to see that you've done it?
That was a motto.
Yeah, no, that was just something they told me, and it was great advice, because it's like, why would I do all this extra work thinking that that's what, you know, people want me to do, versus doing work that like people can actually see. And so they know that I've done that, whereas I'm doing like random like tasks for people, trying to be nice or whatever. But like the real value or perceived value is like stuff that people can actually see. They know that you, like, your name is on this, you did this. Does that make sense?
Interesting. Okay. And that's a positive, because interestingly, I viewed that as a potential negative because of the whole, like, I need to put my name on this, or, you know, I need to show the whole team that I was the leader of this project and I snailed it, kind of deal.
Yeah, I think for me, I just like never got too deep inside that aspect of like corporate life, because I think I just wasn't at that age. I just wasn't there. Like, I was not going to be the one to do that. I just didn't think I needed to do that. Like, step on, you know, I didn't want to be that person to like do any of that sort of stuff.
Well, you're a smart cookie. She was at one of the big four. Yeah. Knows her stuff.
My age, and then where it worked.
I've kept it all vague. I think that's vague enough. We'll cut that out.
Interesting that you interpret it like that, but I perceive it more like, when I look at it now, and if someone had told me that now, I'd be like, oh, actually show people what you do. So you've done something.
Like in a positive sense. Like you're like, making sure that people see it.
People, yeah. And same with your acting and things like that. Like, if you're not posting it that you did that on your Instagram, like, how would people that don't talk to you day to day know that you did that?
Yeah, and the two paintings on your bed that were there for 2 years and that someone saw so much value in, it's that whole really getting over the hump of like posting and being, like, just getting stuff out there.
I think so. And I think every time, like, creating something is already hard enough, and then to open yourself up to criticism by posting it is sort of like you're doing it twice in another way. Yeah. Well, I mean, like,
in-person criticism. No one's shit.
No, literally.
Did you get that? Did that happen?
I didn't. I don't think I was like checked in that much. I was like kind of like levitating at that time. I was like, there's just so many people, and like, I didn't want to hear anything bad. I was like, I just choose me. But
I can't paint shit. So we got pencil drawings.
That's so funny. Legit, like, yeah. But then, like, at the same time, like, I didn't hear anything, but I saw people just walk past. And so I was like, okay, the way I interpret it is like, it's just not created for them. I actually listened to this podcast when I was sort of starting out my podcast. And they were talking about how when they first started posting, they were like, why are none of my friends like sharing my posts? Like, why are none of my friends sharing, you know, oh, this new episode dropped, or like, you know, following my podcast page or anything like that? And then they were talking about how the reason that you're creating is actually like not for the people around you. It's for people like beyond that. Like, you have this calling to make something. You're not actually trying to put that onto like people around you to support you. It's actually for other people. Like, it's beyond your circle. And I think when I thought of it like that, I was like, oh, so true. Like, you know, one of my friends hasn't listened to my podcast still. I think my first episode was like 5 years ago. But I don't take it personally or anything. It's just like, it is what it is. Like, it's just not for you. You know what I mean? That's right. I'm the bigger person. It's all right. But yeah.
Maybe got something creative? No. No, but it's so true though, isn't it? It's like when you try and be more yourself and you put yourself into your work, there'll be someone that appreciates it that you didn't even really realize. People you're not expecting. Like your friends know who you are, but not maybe just don't resonate with your creative outlets.
And it's also not their job to be like that too. At the same time,
as much as so quickly.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. As much as you want that, I think it's beyond that. If that makes sense, like it's far beyond that. Like even like I've known you for how many years, but I feel like I when we first met, I don't know, I would have been like what, how old? More
well, Seneth, we would have been Seneth and I year 8 or 9. I think I came around to his. No, it would have been earlier.
Yeah, year 7 probably, right? So I would have been like, what, grade? I have no idea. How old are you in grade 5?
In year 7, I was, 2010 was year, what's that? 15 years ago. Oh my God, 15 years ago. Crazy. Before 13 or 14. So you would have been like 11 or 12.
But like I would never have, which is crazy. But at the same time, like I would have never thought like we'd be here. Do you know what I mean?
Ever. Yeah.
Like that would have never even, I mean, I wouldn't even know what I would be doing now, but yeah, you just never know. Like it's just interesting.
Yeah, you never know where your path can take you.
Absolutely.
And I suppose that's the hopeful thing about creativity. And and again, you just made me realize how appreciative I am for this. It's wild.
That was my plan all along. Yeah. Appreciate me.
Technically a podcast. 15 years in the making.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
Damn, we're old.
Yeah, we're old. Oh, cut that out. Oh my goodness.
When you were in school, like, did you feel that you wanted to do something like this, like something more creative, or were you more like academic?
So funny. I feel I share this a lot with other people when I talk about stuff that I'm really passionate about now. I think I always had it as a little boy. I always was obsessed with performing. A lot of my mates from school, Seneth would especially tell this story a lot, is the Purple People Eater story. So I dressed up in year 4 or 5. I put my hand up to do this, dressed up full head to toe in a Purple People Eater outfit and then danced around on stage because I wanted to. Yeah. I wanted to, and I wanted to be part of productions, but I never really put the effort in. I was very self-conscious. So the boys' culture kind of like, oh yeah, drama sucks. Like drama's so gay. And that shifted me away from it because I was like, no, I want to fit in. I want to be loved. So I'm going to push this away and I'm going to do really well at sport. I'm going to achieve. And now I've come back full circle and it actually came out in my DJing. Yeah. So that's where that performing element, I really enjoy it. I couldn't care less when I'm mixing. In all honesty, I've been doing it for 8 years, and I really don't really care. It can be so flippant and change. Yeah. What I really like is impacting people in some positive way, and that's what I came back to: is how can I do that more? And acting seems to be the way through, and stand-up comedy and making people laugh and. It just took a very long time to get the self-confidence back and officially call myself an actor, like you said with being an artist. And
do you feel like you had, like, because you were DJing, you were also doing stand-up comedy and acting. Did you feel like they were kind of competing with each other at any stage?
I feel like the at the moment, interesting. I'll be open and honest. I feel like the DJing is competing now. Yeah. And like I'm trying to be more as a performer, and actor, MC, and get more of my bearings in that spaces. And then I'm doing a gig where I'm in the corner for like 4 or 5 hours, and I'm like, I could have easily just been a Spotify. Yeah. So there's no need for me to be here. I'm not gonna like hype up like everyone get on the floor. Like I'm not like. This is a coffee shop, like like I don't know. So that openly, honestly, and full transparency, that's what's competing at the moment. But I think they all play into each other. So I'd ask you the same question: like, do you feel like anything has fueled you to becoming an artist? What is competing for your ability to be an artist and your like any hindrances or barriers that you see?
I can answer that. To be honest, the biggest barrier or issue that I face is actually like my phone.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I feel like I'll tell myself, okay, I'm going to go on Instagram and like, you see people that you follow, like artists that you follow, and that's kind of almost a justification for keeping it on your phone in a way. Like I'm like, okay, I want to see like what people are doing and yeah. But then I think about how much time I sink into my phone, and then I think about how terrible I feel afterwards, where I'm like, I could have been like painting, or I could have been doing something like more meaningful. I could have been talking to my friends, but here I am like on my phone. And I think that, to be honest, that is genuinely like the biggest thing. Like I can justify having my phone in every like situation. But I think honestly it's just a huge distraction from what I want to be doing. And I'm like very aware of it, and I still do it, which sucks. And I think that's something like this morning is the first morning in like, I don't know, months where I was like, I'm just not going to go on my phone.
How'd you find that?
I was great. My boyfriend was like, you're so like chatty and energetic. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. So I think I think sometimes you're just like subconsciously, you're just looking for something to occupy your subconscious. Like you're not like really taking anything you're looking at on your phone. I've actually started doing, I started reading The Artist.
So The Artist's Way, what's the book about?
So it is basically about like reconnecting with your creative self in a way, or finding your creative self, and sort of giving giving yourself like space to create. So I only just started reading it the other day, but I'd been following an artist who'd actually like done that multiple times. So she's done this book maybe 4 or 5 times throughout her creative journey, and each time she sort of learned something from it, which I thought was really interesting.
So the book changes as her journey. That's so cool. Yeah.
I guess you're a different person each time you do it, or when you come back to it or feel drawn to it. But yeah, it has like different. So every day it has like, it says like, read these like 10 things. So it's like, and the essence of that is basically allowing yourself to be creative and giving yourself, trusting that, we're created to be here. So we should continue that cycle of creation and like sort of like that. And then one of the things that it says to do is every day you write 3 pages in a book, like in the morning. So they're called like morning pages. But it's not like writing, like good writing. It's just like gibberish.
Yeah, just jigging. Do you do it?
I haven't started. I'm starting tomorrow. Starting tomorrow, guys.
Love that.
But I will be starting tomorrow. But like the idea is like you're getting rid of all the subconscious sort of drool in your mind. So even if you don't know what to write, you'd be like, I don't know what to write, but I'm still writing whatever.
You just get it out.
You just have to get to 3 pages.
3 pages, like a full, because I do journaling at night for the same reason, to get the thoughts out on the page. And usually I always start it. I only started this year where I started, everything is going to go well, and I underline it, and then I do what I was going to talk about that day. I love that. And the last one is I love you, Raff. And that's amazing. Yeah, and I say that after every entry, and I'm up to 746 entries since starting in 2021, I think. Wow. I've got 3 books full, and I just, sometimes there'll be like a 2-week gap. Other times I'm like doing it every day. It's super raw. Like don't shit. So would you keep it artistic, or would you? No, I think I would just keep it like literally what's in my brain, like put it out, good or bad. Sort of like, but I think piss me off. You like Bailey? Yeah, first one. Point number 10.
Even with journaling, I remember like I used to do a little bit of writing. So whenever I, was upset or something, I'd be like, okay, I need to like write this out. So I'd write, and then I would only write when I was upset. Yeah. And so I remember like coming across the book, and I was like, oh, this book is like so depressing. Like everything in it, I'm like, this is so sad. This, I think, is when I was in high school, like all this stuff.
I journal or this book?
No, journaling. I just started reading this book, please. This book's a vibe. I need a next podcast. I'll be done with this book. So next time we reconnect. But yeah, so yeah, like I found that like when you're writing, when you have a lot of heavy emotions and things like that, like when I look back on it, I feel like it's just sad and I feel worse. And I actually threw that book out. Really? Yeah, because I felt like it had so much negative energy inside of it.
Fascinating.
Yeah, so it's interesting that you're saying you have journals from like 2021. Like that to me, like I would not want to like live back in that time and like think about anything from then. I'd just like.
And why? Because it's just too much to hold on to,
I
or
think so. I think it's just. I think when you're only reading things that you've written when you're in like a depressive or like a low mood, you kind of don't remember any of the positive things that could have happened. Like I didn't write anything down. So I think back and I'm like, oh, this is the only thing that's happened to me.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
yeah, because you're just like, wow, a constant stream of negative thoughts.
Yeah. Do you have that when you look back at your writing, or do you try to balance it?
There's some dark shit in there, and like
Yeah.
I'm okay.
All right, guys, stand up.
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, everything's gonna go. Yeah, peachy. It's fucking marvelous. But they're like, for me, I think there'll be periods where I'm like, I'm reading back. For me, it's a timestamp, but sometimes I'm reading back. I'm like, oh my god. But for me, when I'm in a really good headspace, I'm looking back and I've shifted to the everything's going. That's why I included the everything's going to go well, and that I love you, Raff, because no matter whatever dark or awful or how down I was feeling during that entry, I'm still making it a point to be like, everything's going to go well. Even if like literally after it, I'm like, everything's going to well. It was fucking hard to write that right now. Like I'll say that, I'll literally write that out. And that just helps me. It's like that balance of not going, as you said, depressed all the time. Because if you look back and you're not writing the positives or the highlights and like savoring those moments,
it's just a slippery slope, I think.
It's a shame. It's a shame you chucked it out, but I can understand why.
Yeah, I think it was just too much. Like I genuinely was like, I hate that I have this. So I was like, I just need to get rid of it. And like now, like I honestly had forgotten about it till we just till you started talking about journaling, and I was like, oh, I remember I did that and I had that.
I appreciate you sharing that. So with the shift now, be whatever you write in the morning, it's getting the negative out, but then there was also these positives. There's also the gratitude journals, which is just positive.
I don't think I love that.
I agree. Why?
I just think it's just not what life is like, and I think sometimes you just feel like, okay, maybe you do have things to be grateful for, but sometimes you just don't feel like it. And that's fine. I think that's fine. I think it's fine to not, obviously you're, even to just say that, you're in such a position of privilege to be able to say that. But like, that's the reality. Like, I don't want to say there's always someone like in a worse spot, but like it's true. Like, and I don't know if you know who Stephen Bartlett is.
Know him very well. I've got a thing about him recently. He's my role model, but awesome. Do you like him?
I do. I like his. I saw like someone had interviewed him, like a short, like 1 minute clip or something, and they asked him, if you could tell your younger self something, what would you say? Or like, because now he's obviously mega successful, like huge. Unimaginable. But he was talking about, I'm paraphrasing, but he was talking about how when he was younger, like there was periods of time where he like didn't know what he was going to be eating for dinner, like the same thing. Yeah. And then but he was saying like in those really low periods, like he was still like happy or content, I guess, to a certain extent, obviously. But because of that, like his appetite for risk was so much higher as he started to gain some momentum and things like that, which I think is amazing, and I think it's true, because if you can be content like at that sort of level, like when at your lowest, I guess, to a certain extent, it's true, like you will take more risks because you know what it's like to be there, and you survived.
And you can come back from the ashes again. That's such a good thing about such a good point on risk appetite as well, because I go back to a example he shared, same thing, like was about his business at the time, his marketing business. I think someone had hacked into his system. Do you remember this one? Someone had hacked into his marketing system in his emails and emailed to pretty much his entire client base personalized emails that were like, said, "You are a piece of shit," to all his like main expensive clients on his books.
Oh my God.
And this was like a cyber attack at night that he had to deal with. And he said that was one of the worst periods of his life. But he came back from that. If he can come back from that, you know, I always think about that example, and I'm thinking about things like I couldn't even imagine that would be happening to him, and he's still navigating those challenges. So to know that if you're content and you can reframe during some of the worst periods of your life, it can
set you up in a way that other people who haven't had those experiences, like, they can't relate to that. Yeah, which I think is pretty amazing.
Yeah. Oh, look, yeah, I'm glad you like him. I just had a friend recently tell me that they think he's a narcissist.
I have heard that too.
Yeah.
I like him like, I like the people he interviews on his podcast, and I like some of the questions that he asks. Like, he has a lot of like psychologists and stuff on there, which I love. But some people, you're like, why are they here?
Yeah.
So I guess with any person, like, you can look up to them, but you just have to take like the bits that you want, like, from their story, rather than like, okay, this person's like, you know, my idol or anything like that.
Yeah, like you can critically think about them. Yeah. The reason why I don't agree that they think he's a narcissist is I just some of the questions, the thought, the ability to hold space for someone, be curious, and like and letting someone who is very grating. I remember I listened to the whole podcast of this guy he interviewed. He's a scientist. He's been on Joe Rogan, and he's like one of Joe Rogan's guests. All the comments of the post were, "This guy sucks. He is just the most abrasive guest." And I listened to the whole thing. I was like, this guy is the most pretentious, difficult, but he navigated the whole thing for 3 hours, sat there and said, I understand your perspective, but it's my right to challenge you as well. And he was just so cool, calm and collected. I feel like someone that was maybe manipulative or narcissistic would bite back, or would like get so their ego wouldn't be able to handle both sides. I feel that's my thoughts anyway. But
I think one of the things that he did say, which I really liked, and I think also applies to podcasting and asking questions and things like that. He was like, one of the things that he loves to hear from people is that they can't tell whether he's right wing or left wing.
I love that too.
And I thought that was amazing. And I was like, that's a really good way to sort of, that's like the best compliment you can get when you're in a space like that, interviewing different people. So yeah. Yeah,
very neutral, very asking questions. And he's very reflective of his girlfriend, even if it doesn't sound like he's like, oh yeah, maybe I should be better. It's like he's just there's just too much reflection.
I think especially in terms of his podcast, I think like it's a great resource as well.
Yeah. Shout out to Ira CEO. It's a great resource if you're looking for something to aspire to, and great conversations.
Who knows, one day you could be interviewing him.
That
Put it in the universe.
Yeah, or yourself. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, we'll make that happen.
All right, done.
Yeah. Stephen?
The space for you right here.
All it.
So you obviously do a lot of different creative outlets, and like your work is very creative. But the people around you, closest to you, do they also do they work 9 to 5s, or what do they do?
That's been one of the toughest things, is because all my close people have all been 9 to 5, like mostly finance bro kind of. Shout out Alex Can, you asshole. He'll usually say something funny, be like, you're my long-term investment, which I think is so funny, because he's like, oh, you know, my unemployed friend. I'm like, I'm not unemployed. I am working to fund myself to act, and so those things where it's like, oh, you know, my friend just got a house, or oh, my friend's been able to move in with his girlfriend, and I'm trying really hard to sustain myself. But I can compare myself all the time, and when it gets pretty tricky, or you know, I get rejected a lot for ads or something like that. Absolutely. You're like, oh, maybe I should go into corporate, or maybe I should try something more stable. stability is incredibly challenging for me because I'm so used to like not chaos, but just doing different things. So yeah, I appreciate the question because I feel so different, and it possibly nicely ties into how, the what am I conversation, where I don't know, sometimes I feel so lost. I'm like, what am I doing? 29, and I feel like it's too far gone, but it's also too early.
Would you say that you're more like type A or type B?
Just
For my own
so interesting.
my own
I feel
thought.
like I give off the vibe that I'm type B, but I reckon I'm type A.
I saw the way you were setting up this thing.
Yeah. I like to be like a soft type A, I reckon. My calendar is too color coded not to be a type A.
Yeah.
Like, and I get like, if plans divert, I'm kind of like, shit, which is not good. I'm like, oh yeah, we're going up to this place tonight. Like, I thought we were going here.
Yeah, I've already learned the menu. I've already picked what I want.
Well, yeah, you type A, type B.
I think I'm more type B.
Yeah.
But at work, I have to be more type A.
Do you find that draining?
I think so. I think you come back from work and you're just very tired because you're like, I've got to do something else. But at the same time, it's like a different part of your brain almost. You got like a logical brain and that just does all the stuff at work, and then you come home and you got like a creative brain.
And does that flow into your emotional brain as well? And like,
yeah. Yes, I have a very tired brain, I think, at the end of the day.
I can get really down in the dumps about comparison.
I think at the same time, if you're able to ask yourself, okay, like, should I go into corporate? Or if you feel like when you feel really flustered or, you're facing a lot of rejection or whatever, even just having that thought, does that give you any comfort knowing that, if you had to, you could, but you don't have to. So you don't need to.
There's options at every point. Yeah. And if you make it work, you can make it work. Yeah. And you'll find ways to do it. I think it's become more and more apparent now. I think more so, do you find that that's happened for you when you label yourself an artist and you embody that more? Do you feel like if I was to take some time off work, or I save for a little bit, or I go back to part-time, it's more doable in your mind because you feel like you have the confidence?
I think so. I think you really need to have like a lot of self-belief, even if other people don't believe in you. And I think that's what's really hard.
Do you feel like people don't believe in you or haven't believed in you?
No, I think the people in my life now, yes, very much a lot of faith in me to figure my stuff out. But like I've been in like relationships in the past where they're just like, what are you doing? Yeah. So, and I think when you're really close with someone and they don't sort of see what you see for yourself, it's very like disheartening.
I'm sorry you experienced that too, because I know what that feels like. Do you reckon now that you have someone who, not only just someone, but a group of you that are so supportive of each other and friends that are supportive of you, that you can see more of your belief? Do you feel like a bit of sadness for that person that didn't have that?
I think so. I think when I look back, I'm like, oh, I wish that person I wish that version of me like had more support, like I think more so than just creatively, just in general. They just needed help. But I got help, it's all right. But yeah, so like but yeah, like it's true. I think also like when you're in that sort of mind space, you cut yourself off from people that care as well, just as a byproduct of trying to keep your sanity. If I could tell myself something, I'd be like, just keep going, like it's fine, like you'll get through it, sort of thing. And I think if I look at myself now versus like 5 years ago, it's like night and day.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like it's and it can be quite stark, can't it? Like, the things that you used to accept and now the things that you accept now is like probably way less. Your standards are higher, and rightfully so too. And then you can flow more into your creativity, not thinking about less about what other people think of you and more about how can I enjoy my creative outlets here.
I think so. I think that like having the right people around you, like they will always encourage you. Like even though they don't understand what you're doing, like they'll always be like, okay, like just see what happens.
If you have anyone around you that doesn't encourage what you do. You said that beautifully. Encourage what you do, but doesn't understand it, but still encourages you. That's such a good litmus test for anyone good in your life.
Even you, like when I first started my podcast, like I barely posted on that thing, but like you'd always like message or like, you know, we'd like, you know, you're very close with my brother, but you know, this is probably the first time we've sat down like this.
Yeah, I had like decent chat.
Which is kind of crazy, but like, but even that, like little things like that, they give you like a little bit of something and you kind of hold on to that, even though, you know, like I don't see you every day or anything like that, but like, oh, like you listen to that.
Yeah.
You know, and like that gives me something to like keep going with.
I want to see you win too. I appreciate you as a human being too. So I think that's probably where that comes from as well. And yeah, you hold on to that. You just hold on to caring about other people that like you are doing what you want to do as well. And like, you know, aspiring to do that or.
Absolutely. And I think also like a lot of creativity is like you find inspiration from different artists or different mediums and sort of like forms into your own perception of, you know, whatever you want to create or whatever you want to do. But that also comes from like creative people around you, and like if they support you, or in general, not even creative people, just anyone, if they support you, you kind of I don't know, it just gives you something gives you like that momentum that you sometimes can't muster up on your own.
I want that. You should probably put that stroke here. It'll look fantastic. Or maybe give you clarity on something that you can't see. Yeah. That, you know, you're an artist. Like the conversation with the doctor. Was your osteo? Osteo, yeah. Yeah, and the osteo, like, is seeing something that you couldn't see at the time yourself.
It's so funny. And like, and then I remember after that, I was messaging like one of my friends who's a writer, and I was just messaging her and I was like, hey, this happened to me. And she was like, I hope you know every time I introduce you to someone, I never tell them you work in an office. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. Yeah. And like that meant so much to me. And I was like, oh, okay, why do I do that?
What's next for you? Like, what do you see as an artist? Like, yeah, because there's obviously the gallery that you'd like to do next year. Yeah. But what do you see? Do you see yourself trying to position yourself full time doing it?
I think so. I think I have a lot of creative mediums or channels that I enjoy. Like I love doing art, but I also love doing makeup, and I'd love to do makeup for like a little, like a film or something like that. It'd be really cool. Like get a brief and like just be able to create something based off like someone's vision. Like I feel like it'd be interesting, sort of interpreting other people's thoughts and what they're trying to like create and making that happen. And then also podcasting. Like I love the concept of a podcast, and I feel like it's so fun to just talk and like it's almost like a journal, but like as audio,
like a live recorded.
But I actually read a quote which was like it was something about like as an artist, like every painting is like a journal entry.
Yeah, that's so true.
And I thought that was like amazing, and I think that applies to like anything you do. Like even if you did like a film now, if you did a film in like 5 years, that's completely different style. Like you look back and you're like, I knew exactly who I was when I did that.
Yeah, it's such a timestamp.
Yeah,
because it's you at that period.
Yeah.
You know, you get that feeling when you walk around a gallery and you see maybe it's like an exhibit of some person. I remember that I saw like the Cause exhibit, and it's his transition through, I think, like his earlier stages in like New York City, and then he transitioned to different countries, and you could see the, not decline, but like his just turmoil at certain points. And then like, you know, vibrant, like heaps of colour, but then he went through something difficult and it was all black and grey, and you're like,
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's just a real life journal. That's so cool. So you're going to try and do more
of everything.
Yeah, I think hopefully this podcast is like a good.
This has been awesome. So thank you very much.
No, thank you for shout out to Nihara Jayatissa. Like, where can people follow you online?
So you can follow my podcast at Like Legit Pod on Instagram. And my art page is at by Nihara.
And the date for the gallery, thinking June
Thinking
potentially.
June, yes.
Okay, cool. Late June, potentially.
Maybe. Yeah. When are you going away?
I'm going 20th of June. So
okay, so hopefully before that.
If anyone has a gallery or a space that they would like,
it could be anywhere. Honestly, anywhere. Yep. Yeah, anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Fly. That'd be cool. Flies to France.
We'll come to you.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time. It was so lovely to do this with you, and I'm sure someone will get some value out of this. And I hope to do this again. This was really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for having me on.